Okay, let's unpack this. Welcome to the deep dive.
Hello.
We take, complex source material notes, research articles you share, and we try to boil it down, make it understandable, make it useful for you.
Yep.
Today, we're digging into some documents about managing production, inventory, specifically using these SAP AR apps.
Right. And we're looking at it through the lens of a company, Global Bike, and one of their products, the Deluxe Touring Bike.
So the source material we have is basically like introductory exercises for these apps.
Pretty much, yeah. They follow a user, Mikkel Koznat, maybe a production worker, maybe a supervisor, doing a couple of really fundamental tasks, key stuff for day-to-day operations.
Okay. And our mission here isn't just to list the steps, right? It's to get at the why. Why do companies use these tools? How do they really track what they have, what goes into making things? What's the actual business value here?
Exactly. It's about understanding the function behind the clicks. So the first main tool that pops up in the sources is this Monitor Stock Requirements List app.
Okay. Stock requirements list. Sounds like just, checking stock levels, how many bikes are sitting there. But I get the feeling it's a bit more involved than that.
Or much more, yeah. It's not just a static number. Think of it as a dynamic live view. It shows your current inventory, sure, but crucially, it pulls in requirements too.
Requirements like?
Like what you need for customer orders or for planned production runs, and also planned receipts, stuff that's supposed to be coming in. It's always updating, real time.
Okay, real time is key. So for this user, Mikkel, how does he actually check the status for, say, that specific deluxe touring bike, but only at the Dallas plant? Can you narrow it down like that?
Absolutely. The apps are built for that kind of filtering. You'd use the material number, that unique code for the bike, and then specify the plant, like Dallas, for global bike.
Right.
You might search the description first, maybe deluxe, or filter by product type, like finished product, to find the number if you don't have it handy.
And the sources show what Mikkel finds when he does this search for the deluxe bike in Dallas.
Yeah, the result displayed in the exercise, it shows Global Bike has zero deluxe touring bikes currently in stock in Dallas.
Zero. Wow. Okay. That single piece of information available instantly. Why is that so critical? What's the big deal about knowing that right now?
Well, that's the core value, isn't it? If Mikkel needs to ship one or maybe start building more in Dallas, seeing zero immediately flags a problem.
Right. You need to act before you commit.
Exactly. If you rely on old data, maybe from yesterday or last week, you could promise a shipment you can't fulfill or start a production run only to find out the finished goods aren't there.
Or the opposite, right? Maybe stockpiling up somewhere else because you didn't realize.
Precisely. Delays, failed shipments, wrong inventory levels. This real-time list helps prevent all that. It's like the pulse of the operation. Highlights urgent needs, stops wasted effort.
Okay, yeah. Preventing those headaches is huge. Massive value there. So what's the second key task Mikkel explores in these exercises?
The second really important tool is the Display Bill of Material app, often called the BOM.
The BOM bill of material.
Right.
That's basically the recipe. Everything that goes into making the bike.
Exactly. It's the complete structured list, all the components, the sub-assemblies, raw materials, everything needed to build that deluxe touring bike. It specifies quantities, units, all that detail.
And how does Mikkel use the app to pull this up? Similar process.
Yeah, similar logic. You start with the material number for the finished product, the bike itself. Then you specify the plant again, Dallas. And also the BOM's usage type.
Usage type? Why different types? Isn't there just one recipe?
Well, not always. A company might have slightly different BOMs for the same item. Usage type 1, like in the source example, is usually the production BOM, the one used for manufacturing.
Ah, okay.
But you might have an engineering BOM, maybe showing prototype parts, or a costing BOM, or one for service parts. So specifying the usage ensures you're looking at the right version for your task, like actually planning to build it.
Got it. Makes sense. So Mikkel selects the production BOM. The source has also mentioned something called an assembly indicator. What's that about?
Yeah. That's where it gets really interesting and kind of crucial for deep planning. That indicator flags a component that isn't just a single part. It's a subassembly. It has its own bill of material.
Oh, right. Like a component made of other components.
Exactly. In the deluxe touring bike example, the wheel assembly has this indicator.
Meaning
Mikkel can then click or drill down into that wheel assembly.
And see its bioma.
Precisely. See the list of everything needed just to build the wheel, the spokes, the rim, the hub, maybe washers, screws, the whole lot.
So you can go from the whole bike down to the wheel, down to the nuts and bolts of the wheel itself, that layered view. Why is that so important for Global Bike?
Because it's not enough to know you need a wheel assembly. For actual
Okay.
production, you need to know you have the spokes and the rim and the hub available when it's time to build the wheel.
Which you need before you can build the bike.
Exactly. This structure, this ability to drill down, it shows the true dependencies. It ensures you plan materials accurately at every level. You might have frames and handlebars, but if you're missing one specific type of spoke for the wheel assembly,
The whole bike production starts.
right, the bale structure reveals that complexity, those hidden dependencies.
It really paints a picture of how interconnected everything is in manufacturing.
Okay.
Okay, so let's bring this together for you, the listener. This deep dive into the stock requirements list and the bill of material. Well, it shows how modern operations depend on this really granular, connected data.
Yeah, these aren't just simple apps. They're vital tools. They give you that real-time view knowing there are 0 bikes in Dallas right now.
Yeah.
And also the deep structural view knowing every single part needed to build one, right down to the tiny bits in a subassembly.
So think about that. These layers of data, the bone bomb defining the parts, the stock list tracking where they are, they really form the backbone of modern manufacturing, of supply chains.
Hmm.
Here's something to think about. What other layers, what other kinds of details do you think are hiding inside systems like this? We've talked parts and stock, but maybe connecting production steps or quality checks or even linking supplier info back to every single tiny component. Where else does this web of data reach?